What the fuck is up, everyone? Prison Miller here, back with a brand new album review. Today we will be reviewing Machine Head's new 11th studio album, Unatoned, which was released today. As you may know, I did not expect Machine Head to release a new album this year. I thought the next Machine Head will probably be out next year or 2027. And it seems like their gap gotten a lot shorter since their last album came out in August 2022, and it's not even 3 years yet. And when I looked, this is their shortest gap between Through the Ashes of Empire. No, I'm sorry. This is their shortest gap between Supercharger and Through the Ashes of Empires. That's their last shortest gap. So expect that. But now as for this album, I'm not sure where to start this, but all I have to say is it's a very standard, basic album by Machine Head standards. Now, am I gonna bash it for it? No, but I'll say this: it's a little bit of a step up. I mean, I know some people, and I can somewhat understand why people may dislike this album, because it's way too standard by its own way. But I'll say this, production is a little improved. It's not as overproduced as their last album. Rob's clean vocals is not as quite as auto-tuned as their last album. His vocals sounded fine. His clean vocals sounded pretty much fine in this album. And yeah, I mean, now I'll say this. This album did improve a bit, but is this what I wanted from Machine Head? No. Do I want something that's kind of like their previous albums besides the last two albums? Yeah. But am I going to complain about it? No. So the album starts off with the intro called Landscape of Thorns, and it goes off with this heavy punching sound called Atomic Revelations, which is a pretty thrashy track. Then we got Unbound, which is a hard-hitting track. And my least favorite track on this album would be Outsiders. I honestly didn't like that song very much. And then we got this so-called posse track called These Scars Won't Define Us, which features In Flames, Lacuna Coil, and Unearth, which doesn't really feature them. They just sung background vocals. And Rob said this is the Wu-Tang Clan level thrash collaboration. Honestly, not really. What I expect for this, I thought it was like verses for each member, but no, they just sung background vocals in the chorus. That's just it. And then we got the instrumental track, Dustmaker, which is a pretty interesting one, which just has a spoken vocals by a female. And it's kind of a weird, trippy thing, if to be quite honest with you. And then my personal favorite track on the album would have to be Bleeding Me Dry. And no, it's not just because it's a longer song. It's kind of it has a much more technical approach to it, but it sounds pretty much fine to me. And then we got Shards Shattered Dreams, which is another pretty solid, hard-hitting song. And then we got this piano-ish closing track called Scorn, which is kind of like, it kind of did have a different change, but it kind of decided to go consistent on it later on in the song, if you know what I mean. If you listen to the song, you understand what I mean. And then the song Addicted to Pain, which has this more higher tempo sound to it, with this thrash groove riffs, with this more melodic chorus as well, with a nice guitar solo as well. Bonescaper pretty much sounds like you heard something from Bloodstones and Diamonds, but it's not like much progression or something like that. It's basically the tone of the song by its standards, you know. It's got this catchy hook and chorus with some nice riffs and solos and melodies here and there. And it pretty much, the other songs pretty much comes and goes. Like, it has, like, throughout the album, you hear some groovy shit, you hear some thrashy shit, and you heard a bit of a new metal elements, like, for example, the song Outsider, which is kind of has this this Slipknot sound to it a bit. Okay, guys, I messed up a little bit. My least favorite song on the album is Not Long for This World. I honestly don't like that song very much. It's kind of a bit melodic center. It's really too basic, and I'm just not a fan of this synthesizer bit on that song. Now, as for the other songs, I know there's synthesizers that were used throughout the album, and I can understand people may complain about it, but it doesn't really bother me that much in this one. Because some of it kind of does fit at times on the album as well. Like, majorly the song Bleeding Me Dry. Like, some of these, like, synthesizer sounds kind of do fit at times. And as for the album in general itself, my main Kindness is the song Not Long for This World, and I wish the guest vocals would contribute more on the song These Scars Won't Define Us. Like, if you're gonna, like, put a feature on there, at least add guests. Like, credit them as guests, because it sounds like they're contributing background vocals. Because most of the singing is from Rob Flynn, as you may know. And just contribute as singers. Don't label them as bands, because it's very misleading as well. But overall, guys, I think it's a solid album. I kind of think it may improve. I know many people may disagree with me on that, because it's not as technical, and it's very basic compared to the usual Machine Head albums. But I'll say this, is this what I want from Machine Head? No, but at least it's not overproduced like of Kingdom and Crowns, or Rob Flynn doesn't have this auto-tuned sounding vocals like he did with Of Kingdom and Crowns. But I'll say this, I'm not really going to complain about this album. At least it's not Catharsis or anything like that. Because Catharsis was a terrible album. At least this album is not Social Justice Warrior album. I mean, it may have a little bit of new metal sound to it, like, as you may know, with the song Outsider, which Outsider kind of sounds a lot like Slipknot a bit at times, mainly by the rapping vocals by Rob Flynn, but it's not like you hear from The Burning Red or some shit like that. But otherwise, guys, I think this album is solid. I'm not going to complain a lot. I'm sure Machine Head fans will love it. I'm sure some people who looked for this album, who want something like From the Blackening or Unto the Locust, may be disappointed in it. As for me, I'm not going to complain much, even though this is not the sound I wanted. I'm not really complaining. So I'm going to go for a 3 to 5. I think it's a pretty decent record. If I were to go back to ranking, like if I were to rank Machine Head albums, this may be in the middle. I mean, I would prefer this over Catharsis any fucking day, and I kind of think it's better than Kingdom and Crown, just for my own reasons. But as for the album itself, I would say this is their most basic record. Mainly because the songs are a lot shorter compared to the usual Machine Head albums, but the songwriting is still consistent to their usual sounds and such. And again, everyone seemed to did a pretty good job. The production did the job well, so I have barely any complaints about it. I know I can understand people may complain about the synth sounds on this album, but for me, they don't really bother me as much. I'm completely fine with it. With good production, as least it matches with the production, matches with the music, I have zero problem with it. So yeah, guys, 3 to 5. It's a decent record overall. But there's way better albums from Machine Head than this. I'll say that. But it's a step up. Alright, guys, so that is my review for Machine Head's new album, Unatoned. What are your thoughts about it? Let me know in the comments. So yeah, guys, so if you enjoyed this album, good for you. I mean, I kind of enjoyed it myself. So there's that. So let me know what you think of this album. Do you like this album? Do you not like this album? And that's pretty much all I have to say here. So, sorry, that was my cat. So that's pretty much all I have to say. Subscribe for more content and all that bullshit. And I'm going to go ahead and get the fuck out of here. So I'm out.